In this video, we're going to be talking about showing you how to utilize the tools that exist in EasyStone to create an offset fill. And we had one of our existing EasyStone users partake in a recent webinar given by the TRW crew for their new TRW Stone Wizard. And in the Stone Wizard, they have this offset fill option that is kind of a neat function that doesn't exist in EasyStone. So the question is, how do you create a similar effect using the tools that EasyStone has? And this video is not a kind of a tit for tat type video. The question was asked, and it's our job to explain to our existing users how to utilize the tool that they already have to create a similar effect. Now, I can tell you that there's lots of functions that are rattling around in my brain that have yet to make it into EasyStone, and there's a lot of functions that are sitting there on the cutting floor that we just decided that a particular function doesn't have that broad of appeal and an application that it isn't really necessarily to have that particular function. And then of course there's functions like our reshape function. It's like, what the heck does that thing do? That no one uses, but yet still sits there inside EasyStone only because we haven't taken it out. I find these different functions useful, but again, they don't have really that broad of application. So really, should they be in there? I don't know. That's just a matter of a personal opinion. But this video is just to show you how to create an offset fill when you're doing your lettering in maybe a different way that you didn't think about previously. So the demonstration was done with an S and a C here. So we'll go ahead and do the same demonstration using the same font and everything else. And in the demonstration, they manually created an outside path for the lettering. Well, in EasyStone, we wouldn't manually create that path because the path is already there. So what we're going to do is just select these 4 nodes on the end of our C. So what we did is we have our S and our C. We converted to curves, and that gives us our paths. And then we double click. That changes over to the shape tool, and then we select those 4 nodes and these 4 nodes and break at nodes. Okay, and that gives us our path. So you can see that. But we don't need this path, we just need this one. So that takes care of our path. So now what we want to do is we want to offset a specific distance. So this is where we would come into the stone fill tab. We would do one island fill to the outside. I have to have my curve selected, and that creates our path. Then what we would do is double click on that path, select those 4 nodes and these 4 nodes, break at nodes, delete the end caps, leaving us our 2 paths that we can then add stones to. Okay, that's basically what offset fill does as well. The difference being it's kind of a one-click function, and the Stone Wizard, we're kind of quote-unquote manually doing it. So let's take a look at the S. It's the same process. We just select the 4 nodes, we break at nodes, we delete the end cap, we delete the path. Now this path that we can't actually see, it's there. So let's just go ahead and give it a color, and let's go ahead and do the same kind of thing where we're going to go to the stone fill tab. We're going to offset to the outside. We're going to double click the path that's created for us, and we are going to break at nodes, and then the same thing. We're going to delete our end caps, delete the path we don't need, leaving us the paths that we do, and go ahead and add stones to it, and you have your S and C. So that is kind of nifty. So that's how you would use the existing tools in EasyStone to achieve the same result. Does take a few more clicks, a little bit more know-how, but you can see it's pretty easily done. Now I do want to show you what's really happening in a more automated way, and this is the curve offset feature. And so, like I said, we've had this feature for quite some time, but it's just not something that we felt had broad use, so we didn't incorporate it into Easy Stone yet. But let's go ahead and just take a look at this. Again, we would isolate our path rather than recreate it, and then we would go ahead and bring up the offset tool where we could go ahead and give it an offset value, and you can see now it's created that same offset. Now we didn't have to select nodes and delete end caps and all that, all those extra steps, but it does give us basically the same result that we had previously. So it's a bit more simplified, obviously, using the tool that tool. But again, we just decided that we didn't need it because there's other ways to achieve the same thing, and it's not that complicated to do. Now, I do want to show you another example because, you know, we have to be totally transparent. And when you think about the text that you do everyday stuff, what are you going to do? You're going to do either 2 rows or 3 rows of stones or 1. It's either 1, 2, or 3 rows. I mean, that's your bread and butter, everyday stuff. Now, like I said, I want to show you this demonstration for full disclosure because what we just showed you, kind of the manual approach, if you will, is pretty straightforward. If you're doing 2 or 3 rows of text, it's not that bad. When you get into a bigger letter, so here's a 6-inch letter where we're going to do 6 rows of stones. So there's a bit more work, but I want to show you how it's done. So same thing, double click, isolate that outside path so we don't have to recreate it. So let's go ahead and do that. That path is there, but it's hidden. So there's our path. Then we're going to come to the stone fill tab and we're going to do 5 offsets, right click to the outside to do the outside offsets, and now this is what you get. So again, we just double click on the outside one, break at nodes, delete the end cap, double click, select those 4, break at nodes, delete the end cap, double click, select those 4, break at nodes, delete the end cap, double click, break at nodes, delete the end cap, double click, break at nodes, delete the end cap. Then we're going to do the same thing down here. Double click, select those 4 nodes, break at nodes, delete the end cap and the outside path. Double click, select those 4 nodes, break at nodes, delete the end cap, delete the outside path. Double click, break at nodes, delete the end cap, select the outside path, delete it. Double click, break at nodes. Let's see, did we do that? I don't think we did. There we go. And delete. Double click, break at nodes, delete, and delete the end cap. So then you're left with this. Then we can apply stones to that. And you have a nice, perfect S. You can see that there. Nice, perfect S. Okay? So if we were to draw a path, like so, and we'll grab our shape tool. And let's just do a wave, simple wave, like this, okay? Same thing, if we want to do the exact same thing, what you would do is you would come in here to your stone fill. Let's go ahead and do like, I don't know, 4 offsets. So you can see it, offset, offset, offset. We would double click. And here it's a little bit more simple where we would select both sides and we would break at nodes. And then we could delete the end caps. Next one, we'd select those 2 and these 2, break at nodes. We would delete the end caps. Double click, select both sides of the nodes, break at nodes, delete the end cap. Double click, break at nodes, delete the end cap. Select those, add our stones, and you get you a nice little wave effect there. So, well, there's a will, there's a way, and it's just a matter of different philosophies to create the same thing. How often are you going to need to create these types of things where you got giant letters where you're using, 6, 8 rows of stones? Probably not that often. So yes, it's a more manual approach, but you can get the job done using the existing tools here in EasyStone. Now, if everybody rant and raves that they need that offset fill feature, we have the feature right here. It just did not get added into EasyStone at this point in time. The only thing that we would have to add is the ability to specify multiple offsets. But like I said, the feature already exists. It's just something that we haven't incorporated yet into EasyStone. But who knows? Maybe down the road we will. But in the meantime, you can achieve these same results using the existing tools in EasyStone. Thanks for watching.